Hi friends, we'll understand error handling now. Now error we can say that undesirable, but we can't write a code without a error. Now we must know how to handle it. We can't totally eliminate error. So let us understand how we will, while coding, how we will handle it, and accordingly we'll move forward. So here is our simple, let's say I am taking one variable a is equal to 5, b is equal to say 3, I am printing a by b. So let's run this and see the output. You can see, okay, it's very simple. Now say what happens if I'll make this as 0. Now it's a 5 by 0, which is a error. So find division by 0. Can you handle this error condition? How you will handle? Now the issue is when you encounter error, the execution stops. We can't allow that because we have so many other codes to execute below that. We can't stop the execution. So for that purpose, let us understand how we will handle it. What is that? Python gives us a try. In fact, this is there in other scripting languages also, error handling. The syntax will change. Now let's say we'll keep it inside a try block. We have to give a little indent. Yeah. Now try print. Now see except. Now what happens when there is error? We'll simply say print error is. You can write whatever you want. Now let us run this code now. Some error is there. We know what's the error, but okay, this is a simple code. We know what's the error is. So we have, instead of stopping it and abruptly showing a very nasty message, instead of that we have told a smooth message that some error is there. Okay, now we'll slowly boil down to specific errors and give a user friendly message what has gone wrong. We can read the system generated message also. We'll come to know what the system has identified as error. Let's paste this code. Before that, we'll before the our earlier except, we'll write once more except exception as e. Now we'll use colon here. Now we'll give print system message is. You can write anything, and now let us print here the value of e here. So let's say what the message from the system is. System message is you can see division by 0. This is what the system has identified. Let us capture the specific error what you are getting. We'll paste the code here. Let's scroll up a bit. Fine. Now before this generic message and general message what you are, will write one more code except exception. No, it's not a general exception. You will write it 0 division error as, let's say, my message. Fine. Now print. We'll write to identify it from others. We'll write a specific message. You can't use 0. So this is our message. Along with that, we will use also the system generated message, my message here. Let's see what happens here. You can't see, you can't use 0 division by 0. This is the system message along with, but we have captured it here. Okay, so this is how we can there is a listing of types of errors are available in Python, and if it matches, then this particular line will be executed. Before this 0 division error, there can be some more error also. Let's paste this code and experiment with that. So you can see that it's a 0 division error, but before that, let's remove this t here. So now we are creating another. Now this error we know. Let's run this and see. It's no more a 0 division error, so it is going to the next exception. So line number 8 get executed. Now let us capture this particular one. Below this 0 division error, here it ends. Let's put another except, let's say, name error. This error is generated when whatever we are using, if the compiler doesn't found it anywhere. So a wrong variable name, a wrong function name, that will be sensed here. Name error as my message 2. Let me see, print check the function. I am writing it function. Now then again after that we will print the message 2. Now let us run this. Name print is not defined, check the function, name print is. So this line number 8, this line got executed. So before even the 0 division error comes, we have used this t. Now let us say if we put back the t here or run this, now it will capture the 0 division error. We will understand now the else and finally part along with the error handling. Let's paste the same code. We don't require that many code here. We'll keep only the general message. We'll remove this and this part also. So this is now here we'll write one else message. Else, now say print I am inside else. Now let's say there is no error. This part of the code will be executed when there is no error. We'll verify that. Now since b, let us start with b0, so there is a error, so else part won't be executed. So the system only this line number 6 got executed, line 8 has not printed as anything. Now let us remove the error by putting some value for b. Now since there is no error, now the else part will be also executed. You can see I am inside else, there is no error. Now let us understand what's the finally will do. Now finally let's print I am inside finally always, or okay, always. So let us say it is I am printing always the value of whatever we write it inside the finally. Let's run this and see. Yeah, because there is no error, so I am getting both the else part and finally part. So but if I will create a error, now else part won't be there, but finally part will be there. So code inside the finally will be there. So I am inside finally always. Now when we use finally, it is like whatever be the condition. Suppose we have opened a file and there is some error. Now irrespective of whether error is there or not there, we need to close the file object. So there we will use it. If it is a database connection, there also we will use it, because irrespective of what the error or not error, we have to close the database connection. That is the case usually the code kept in closing code for the database or the file, these are kept inside the finally.